Hello, everyone. So, my name is Meredith McNulty, and my teaching strategy that I used was modeled talk. Modeled talk is where you explain what you were doing, how you were doing it, verbally and physically. So, you will be showing the students what they are expected to do in the future by modeling how they are doing it, like by writing, and then saying what you were doing as you write it. For the sake of my video, I did not announce what I was doing, whenever I was doing it, so that you could see my face. But I did say what I was going to do right before I did it. So my lesson is a 3-day lesson that starts with I do, and then the next day it's we do, and then the next day is you do. So on the first day, that's where my demonstration comes in. I'm going to show you what I'm doing for part of it just because of time constraints, how I'm going to use modeled talk to show them how I'm going to read the fable, find the story elements in the fable, and write them on my story map. The children will not have the story map at this time. All they will have is the fable, a paper copy of their fable, and colored pencils to do the underlining. However, I wanted that so that they could focus on what I was doing, but I still wanted to engage them in the text by having them underline it, and you'll see that they're answering many questions. Sometimes Model Talk doesn't do that, but since my lesson is for second graders, finding the central message of a fable, I wanted to make sure that they were engaged, because if they're not engaged, then they're not going to be paying attention. So I also wanted to say that the materials I'm using in this video is a story elements poster, which has the title, settings, and character and plot, and then it defines all of those. So I'm using the poster to remind the students of what we're looking for in the fable. And then I'm also using the first page of the fable, There's a Skunk in the Library. And then lastly, I'm using a big poster of the fable story map, and all of these materials will be put into my slideshow, so make sure you check them out. But anyway, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy my video. Hey, boys and girls, so we just read the entire fable, and now, after we read the entire fable, we need to read one page at a time. So I'm going to read one page at a time, but I need your help finding the story elements. What are our story elements again? Yeah. The title, that's our first story element we'll be looking for, especially on the first page. The setting is the places that the story takes place, where the story is happening. The characters. There can be more than one character and more than one setting. Keep that in mind. The characters are the people in the story, well, in the fable that we're reading. The plot. The plot are the events that happen throughout the story. Yeah? So we'll be looking for, if we're reading the first page, what do you think we'll find? The plot. Do you think we'll find the beginning of the plot, the middle of the plot, or the end? Yeah? The beginning. Yeah, we'll most likely find the beginning of the plot. I'm going to read the fable, the first page, so everybody go to the first page of your fable. But I need your help looking for the story elements, but don't interrupt me. I'll call on you after so you can tell me what story elements we found. There's a skunk in the library. There's a skunk in the library, Sam cried as he ran down the hallway to his classroom. There's a skunk in the library. All along the hallway, classroom doors opened and curious heads poked out. Oh, it's just Sam, said Nick. Yeah, last month he said that there was a snake in the bathroom, said Rachel. The month before that, he said there was a bear in the cloakroom, said Pete. Come on, children, Miss Tiller said. Principal Martin will deal with Sam. The students returned to their classrooms. Okay, so after we read the first page of the story, what do I need to do? I need to write my name on our story map before we start, right? So whenever you have your story map, you're gonna write your name before anything so I know whose story map it is. So I'm now going to write my name, Miss McNulty. After I write my name, I now need to find the first story element. What is the first story element on our poster? Yeah? Yes, it's the title. Can somebody tell me what the title of our fable is? Yeah? Yeah, there's a skunk in the library. That's the title of our fable. So I'm going to get my red colored pencil out. I need everyone else to get their red colored pencil out too. The first thing I'm going to do is underline the title in my fable. Can everyone else underline the title in their paper copy of the fable as well? Okay, I am now going to underline the title of the fable in red. You do the same. Now that I underlined the title of the fable in red, I now need to write it on my story map. You don't have a story map right now, but you will in the future. So what are you going to do whenever you have your own story map? Yeah, you're going to start by writing the title in red. So I am now going to write the title, There's a Skunk in the Library, on my story map. Good job. Did everyone underline it? Yeah, like I did here. And then I wrote it on the story map where it said title. Now you can put your colored pencils away just like I'm putting my red colored pencil back. Okay, our next step is we need to find the next story element in our fable. So look at the poster. What's the next story element that we will be looking for? Yeah? Yes, the setting. Remember that there could be more than one setting. Okay, who wants to tell me the first setting that they found on the fable? Yeah? Yes, the library. Good job. So now I'm going to go and underline the library with my green colored pencil. Can everyone else get their green colored pencil out and underline the library in the fable while I underline it as well on my fable? Yeah? Okay, now I am going to underline the library, the first setting mentioned in our fable, with green, with my green colored pencil. Good job. Remember, we only need to underline the story element one time. If it's mentioned more times throughout the story, we do not need to underline it. Okay. Did anyone else find any other settings on the first page of our fable? Yeah? Yes, the hallway. Good job. The hallway is the next setting mentioned in our fable. So I'm now going to keep using my green colored pencil and I'm going to underline the hallway in green. You do the same as I do it. I am now going to underline the hallway with my green colored pencil. Remember, we only need to underline it one time. Okay, boys and girls, are there any other settings on this fable page? On our first page of our fable? Are there any other places where the story took place? Yeah? Yes, you're correct. The classroom. The fable also took place in the classroom on the first page. So now, what do we need to do? Yes, we need to underline it with our green colored pencil. I am now going to underline classroom with our green colored pencil one time. You do the same, boys and girls. Okay, boys and girls, that is all of the settings mentioned in the first on the first page of our fable. After I underlined them with our green colored pencil, what do you think the next step is? Think about what we did when we found the title. Yeah? Yes, we now need to write it. I now need to write it on our story map. I need to write the library, the hallway, and the classroom of the school, okay? I am now going to write that on my story map. I'm going to write Sam's school, library, hallway, and classroom. So watch me as I write that with my green colored pencil. You're not doing this today, but you will do it tomorrow. Good job, boys and girls. After I underlined it in the first page of the fable, I wrote it on my story map in green where it says settings, because the Sam's school, library, hallway, and classroom is where the story took place, where the fable took place on page number 1. Okay, after we did that, what is our next step, does everyone think? After we did the